guys? Welcome back to Pop Culture with Pat. I'm so excited to be joined by today's guests. Today, I'm talking to author Michael Rosenbaum, talking about his new book, The Talented Farter. Michael, thank you so much for your time today.
Hey, thanks for having me. Really excited about the book, and excited about everything. Just thanks for having me.
Yeah, perfect gift for the holiday season. Make sure you guys, if you're looking for something, someone in the family, make sure to pick that up. You can pretty much pick it up wherever, whether it's Amazon, local bookstores. Go and grab it.
Oh yeah, it's not only a fart book; it's a sound book. So they're all my farts. They're all real. They're not just your generic fart noises. The illustration's wonderful. It's a hardback. It's good for friends, kids, families, all that stuff. I had so much fun doing it, and I think people are really going to love it. So you can get it on Amazon. It's cheap, and it's such a fun party gift or whatever. But I wanted the farts to be, by the way, longer and louder. So I didn't want you to just go and it's over, and you're like, oh, that's lame. But
Yeah.
they're real and they're long and loud, and it is a fun, fun book. So I hope people get it.
So Michael, I mean, you're an actor, you're a musician, you have your own podcast, which I'm a big fan of. When
Thank you.
did you decide that making a book was something that you wanted to do next?
I always come up with ideas because I get bored. I have ADHD, and I know a lot of people think they have that, but I'm telling you, anybody who knows me and my therapist alike, I get bored easily and I move on to new things. And if I'm doing the same thing over and over, I get really restless. And so I thought my friend John Heater, name drop, he was a Napoleon Dynamite, but I used to like fart into my phone and send him and his twin brother Dan a fart in the mornings, and they go, "That sounds like a propeller plane losing control." Or oh, that sounds like, and I go, "Wow, wait a minute, this is a great idea. I'm gonna make a story about a kid whose only talent, his only ability, is to fart and make his fart sound like things that we hear every day." He can make his fart sound like a frog, so he can hang out with frogs. He can make his fart sound like fireworks on the 4th of July. So I would send all these farts that are mine, and they sound like, a creaky door on Halloween, and I just thought it would be fun. And I pitched Simon and Schuster, and they bought it the first time I pitched it. And I was like, really?
I
And
would
they're
have loved to
like, yeah.
be in there on that meeting when you were pitching
Oh,
that.
oh, I pretty much pitched it like it comes from the heart, and the fart and soul. And it's really just about passion. I think when you have a passion for something and you believe it and you think it's great, a lot of people would jump on. If you're just trying to sell something that you don't really believe it yourself, that you know how that goes, and it's a harder sell, and people could see through that.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make something that looked great, was for the family and kids, adults alike, and just was a great gift for the holidays. And Amazon. You can get it on Amazon. So I'm really excited. It was just one of those things I came up with and went with it. I
Oh,
I, I do that a lot. I thought my dog's breath's bad. I'm gonna come up with these drops that you put in water, and it's called Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath. And you put a capful in the morning. It's odorless, tasteless. Your dog won't know the difference, but we will. And I did it. And it's
well, I
out
gotta
there
get
on Amazon too. Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath. So I always say to people, if you have an idea, go for it.
yeah.
The risk is a lot of times not that much. To put something out there, especially nowadays, it doesn't cost a lot of money. So you can do whatever you want. You just have to do it.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing I think is just taking that step. I think a lot of times that's what holds people back from pursuing things. I mean, me doing the YouTube channel thing, actually getting on camera, recording yourself. It's a little nerve-wracking to start, but once you get going and been doing it for several years now, you just got to do it and keep going.
I think it's honesty and integrity a lot of times with the podcast, my podcast Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. At first, no one was really listening and I wasn't making any money. And I was like, what am I doing? And then I started to open up about my life, my dysfunction, therapy, my world, and just being authentic. And the guests started to open up, and that's when it took off.
Yeah.
So I think people are looking for something that's genuine. And when you listen to the podcast, I really try to be as genuine. And I mean, I'm like someone interviewing that people will be like, that's the question I would ask. That's what I would want to know. It's not, I'm not Barbara Walters. I'm not interrogating people, but I'm checking to see, how they respond to adversity and what do they do to wake up in the morning and forge ahead when they're in a bit of a rut. And I think just being honest and open and things coming from the heart, I think speaking from the heart, you'll be more successful. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, I think that people really appreciate that authenticity. And so for you, Michael, this being your first time putting together a book, I imagine there was challenges that you faced along the way. What were some of those challenges in this process of bringing this thing to life?
The challenges were really condensing it and getting it to be very clear, very focused, very a nice through line from beginning to end. Who is this kid whose only ability is to fart and make his fart sound like something that everyone hears, like a ketchup bottle or a creaking door? And but it wasn't, it was a challenge, but it was a fun challenge. I was ready for it. I was working with great people. And our illustrator Heath McKenzie is just unbelievable, and like you could see, like for instance, this is
Oh, beautiful art.
so beautiful, the art, and it's so inviting and colorful, and that's the direction I gave him. I wanted it to pop. I wanted it to be inviting for kids and whoever checks the book out. So the challenges were fun. It was just like I want to get it out now, and then coming up with the cover and what color it is and what looks better, and and asking my friends, do you like this cover or do you like this cover? And those are all fun challenges. It was like, and once it came sort of to fruition where they sent me 100 books and I go, oh my Lord. And I even got one in Spanish that's
That's
coming.
amazing.
So there's Un Talento Ruidoso, which is the talented farter in Spanish.
Love that.
Yeah, I was just like, this is cool. This is cool. I mean, if you look at yourself if you can go back in time to being a young guy, 12, 13, 14 years old, and say you're going to be a published author of a fart book that comes out all over the world. That alone is like, what? I've made it.
Oh
As a
yeah.
kid, you don't think of anything but just the joy. I think that people a lot of times dwell on failures, and that sort of defines them in a way. And when in all actuality, if they just go back to when they were a kid and they said, hey, you're going to do a movie, you're going to be the lead, or you're going to have a big part, and people are going to see it, they wouldn't say, well, is it a failure? How much money did the movie make? It's more about the fun of it all. And
Yeah, you got to
uh,
take part in it.
yeah, and I look at that with most of the things that I do in life. I just say, hey, the process is fun, and let's try to make something that you think is worthy, and so be it. The talented farter made it. It's out
Yeah.
there.
It's out there now. And was there anybody along the way, Michael? Was there any of your friends, fellow creatives that you reached out to just to get advice as far as when putting this thing together?
The only person I asked was one of my co-stars, Kristin Kreuk from Smallville, who played Lana Lang. She knows me pretty well, and I go, listen, I have this idea. And she will tell you how it is. She doesn't sugarcoat anything. And I said, Kristen, I want to do this fart book. It's my own farts. It's a sound book. It's about this kid. And I told her the whole story. And she goes, I love it. And I go, what? She goes, I love it. It sounds charming and really funny. And I think you should absolutely do it. And that's why I said, okay, I'm doing it. So thank you, Kristen Crook. I thank you for the talented farter.
And you gotta appreciate, you gotta love those type of people too. You gotta have at least one of those in your life that they're gonna give it to you straight and how it is. Because you can have a lot of people that are just yes men and say, "Oh yeah, that's a great idea, Michael." But having someone that you know a lot of times will be like, "Ah, no, don't do that. That's probably not something that you pursue." And for her to actually give you the green light, I'm sure, like you said, you sounded kind of surprised.
Yeah, I was surprised. She's just she would say, "Oh God, really?" And she didn't. She thought it was funny. And then, I have to get her a book. I'm going to bring her a book to the next convention when I see her. I'm going
You
to sign
should.
it. It's funny because a lot of my friends, they did quotes on the back of the book. And as Rainn Wilson from The Office says, this book is disgusting and horrible. I've read it 147 times. John Heater, Napoleon Dynamite. Michael really put his fart and soul into this book. Tom Welling from Smallville, An Insight to the Bowels of a Genius.
Might be my
Henry
favorite
Winkler,
one.
Jennifer Love Hewitt. It was like they all helped out, and they helped me get this book out there. And so I think my next book's going to be like a memoir sort of book about my life and all the craziness that has gone on. Everything from living with Carrie Fisher to you know um, trying to make it in the business to never thinking I'd amount to much and not wanting to go to even college. And if it wasn't for the popular kid in high school who, for some reason, lived down the street and always would check in with me, my friend Tom, he would he would always just he came up to me one day. I was shooting baskets alone. I was a bit of a loner and didn't have a lot of friends. He goes, "Hey, you going to college?" I said, I don't know. I was thinking about working at Wesselman's Grocery for another year or something. I don't know. He goes, dude, get sign up for Western Kentucky University and we'll be roommates. And I thought that as an opportunity. The popular kid wants me to be his roommate, and I'm telling you, everything took off when I went to college. He would be like, dude, you gotta listen to this guy's joke. He's funny. He'd support me when I did theater. He was always you know, my best friend. And to this day, he was over last night. He lives in LA. We've been best friends for 41 years. And, so the book, if I do the book, it's going to be charming and sad and dark and really funny at the same time.
And that was something I was going to ask you too. Now, after having the taste of creating your first book and going through this process, is that something that you think that you're going to possibly do again in the future? So it sounds like you do have some ideas.
Yeah, a writer came up to me and he's published a lot of books and he goes, I've done this. I listen to your podcast all the time and I really think your story, I think this would be a great book. And he's been trying to sell me on it. And I'm getting close to pulling the trigger on this. And I go, why would no one's going to want to read a book by Michael Rosenbaum, who was this guy,
I'd be
Lex
right there,
Luthor?
Michael.
I mean, I just always that's sort of the kid in me that was insecure, that like didn't think he'd amount to much. There's always that's inside you.
Yeah.
And you have to just sort of say, shut up, that voice inside saying, stop. We're capable of doing this. And, a big part of me is like, no one's going to buy it. I'm not Leonardo DiCaprio. But he's like, it doesn't matter. This is going to be an interesting, fun, clever book. And I think people will catch on. I'm like, all right, maybe. I always think of the end product and I was like, nobody got it. But with this, I didn't think about those. I just said, I want to make a fart book. And the talented farter came to fruition.
And people are loving it. I mean, you've been getting some great feedback. I was looking on Amazon too. It's like 5 out of 5 stars as far as the feedback goes. So I mean,
Yeah.
getting to see that, I'm sure that must mean a lot to you, afterwards.
I think it's the best fart book out there. I'm just going to say it
Oh
because
yeah.
it's got class, it's got crass, it's got heart and soul. It's about family. It's about going with what you got. It's about making people smile. And that's what makes me happy.
And to wrap things up for you, Michael, before we go, I had to ask you, with next year being the 25th anniversary of Smallville airing, uh, a lot of people consider, also myself, we consider you the best Lex Luthor of all time. And
Thank
we've
you.
had a number of different people obviously play the role over the years. Hearing that from fans over the years, what does that mean to know that your performance resonated with audiences so much and continues to do so today?
It means the world to me. It truly does. I didn't realize the impact I had on fans and people just in general. But when you hear their stories and you read these articles and all these things later on, because there wasn't social media when I was doing Smallville, and
Yeah.
I was just somebody sent me an article that said the best Lex Luthor, and I was like, all these articles. I'm like, what, really? And you start to think, huh, people really like me. That's cool. But I'm just, I think it's fun. I think it's cool. It's cool to have played such a great character on television for all those years, and for people to respond the way they have is a beautiful thing. And who knows? The creators and I of Smallville have talked about making it happen again, bringing Lex back sometime. But right now, I obviously have the great Nicholas Hoult playing
Yeah.
Lex in Superman. But I think in the future, somewhere along the line, I might be shaving my head again.
Fingers crossed. I mean, I would love to see it. I know a lot of other fans would love to see it, and I know, like, obviously we got Nicholas Hoult, doing his performance right now. But I remember before that film came out, there were a lot of rumors online saying, "Oh, will Michael Rosenbaum be the Lex Luthor in this new DC universe?" I'm sure you
Yeah.
probably came across those online a bunch as well.
Well, I think, what happened was I interviewed James Gunn, who's one of my dear friends, and on the podcast he says, "Well, you're the best Lex Luthor ever." And when he
Yeah,
said that, I had a glimmer of hope, just a glimmer. And I was like, "Huh." People were like, "Dude, that's what he said." And I go, "Yeah." And then my
yeah.
phone never rang. But I understand why he cast Nicholas. Nicholas is fantastic, and it works great with David Cornsweet, who's brilliant. And I'm really happy for them. They're both terrific guys and great actors, and um, I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what's next. Well, Michael, it's been a pleasure talking to you today. Congratulations on The Talented Fighter. Make sure you guys, if you are looking for a great gift this holiday season, pick it up on Amazon or bookstore. Michael, just thank you so much for your time today.
You're awesome. Thanks so much, Pat.